soon. Problem is, I wasn't ready. Problem is, the past comes haunting you and it is looking to mess up your new relationship. We are following up last week's episode on the Smart Money Woman, Shola and Zuri's break up. Let's see where they are at in episode 9 and 10.
Let me walk you through it. The statement reflects the amount you transfer to us each time, plus the asset classes you invested in and their returns.
Okay.
And although you missed 3 or 4 payments, you were largely consistent. You also invested roughly 1.5 every quarter.
Well, I worked out a profit-sharing formula because God knows I was scared of blowing it all up on fashion and travel like I did last time.
That's good. Let's not also forget the 2 million in cash gifts from Shola that was directly invested on your behalf. Talk about boyfriend of the year.
Absolutely, Shola deserves the boyfriend of the year. I mean, what man in your life has invested in your stock market portfolio outside of your father, your brother, whomever, but your man actually gifted you that as a present? That is a wonderful man, and it just speaks to the caliber of a man that Shola is, which is a man that is always forward thinking and very mindful and thoughtful of his woman. So, yeah. So, this week we're getting into what happens now after their breakup and they're going to get back together. What does that look like? If you have not seen the last episode of the video that I did, go ahead and check it out and come back here and check this one out. But yeah, let's find out if they're going to make up or not. And what does that look like? What does all of that entailing crawling back to each other?
I don't really want to talk about it right now.
Fair enough. Well, at the moment, you have an asset mix of 60, 20, 10, 10. 10 in crypto, 10 in commercial paper, 20 in equities, and 60 in the money market, which, if you ask me, is pretty impressive considering where you started from.
So here we see that Zuri is winning financially, especially if you followed the series from season 1 and just how detrimental her finances were. And now she's winning in that aspect, but not winning in the way of love because she's currently going through this heartbreak. But you know, that's life, right? We're winning on one side and then the other side might need a little work. And so it's never a balance act. I think we're always wanting a balance act, but there's always something that comes in and trips us up. But it's part of life, and everyone is going through one thing after another. And it's just, how do you overcome it? How do you face it? How do you get through it? It's just all up on you because life is still moving. Life is still going on. Even though you're going through a breakup, even though it's really, really hard, life has to go on. And although you're hurting right now, you still have to show up for other parts of your life, because without you, because essentially you're playing a part, a role in life. And so without you, it's all kind of gone. So I do like that they showed that in that balanced way, that your life still got to go on even though your heart is broken.
Fine, Shola.
Really? And you won't change your mind?
I won't change my mind.
Okay. Yes, I know. I'll be there soon. Okay.
So let me break down that scene. Essentially, Shola saw her at a football game, a soccer game, and she was, well, some guy came to sit next to her, and he was also at the game, but he was also at the game with this new woman he had been parading all over Lagos with. And so he didn't like the fact that she was essentially starting to move on. I guess it'd been months since they've been broken up. We don't know how long for. It was never really talked about. But he came and said, I want you back. I miss you. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been trying to talk to you and been begging you. And now all of a sudden, because you see me with someone, you want to be back with me. And so she wasn't having it. He showed up at her house with some flowers, and she's like, no, like, how is it that you get to move on? He's like, none of those girls she means nothing. That the girl he was parading in Lagos with meant nothing to him. It's like, well, what's that got to do with me? It doesn't look like it, because how are you so quickly to move on and all of that, and now you want me back? And so she was not having it. And so it wasn't until this point where she's like, because she kept seeing him everywhere. And so she was at a cafe, and he was there also. And so I guess he took that opportunity to just kind of like sit there until she listened to him. And so he's like, what? She's like, I'm busy right now. He's like, well, what about dinner? And we can talk over dinner. Because she's like, what do you want? And she's like, fine. And that's when he's like, you won't change your mind. Like, and she's like, no, I'll actually come. Because basically she was seeing him everywhere. Have you ever been in that position where you're seeing your ex everywhere? I haven't. But I don't know if anyone else has ever been in that situation. I don't think I would ever want to run into my exes like everywhere, but clearly they kind of run in the same circle, so it was bound to happen. But I don't think I run in the same circle with my exes. Thank God for that, because it would be very uncomfortable. But let's get back to the show.
I never thought that this would actually ever happen again.
But
Sitting here in front of each other, having drinks.
So it looks like the breakup has been for a while, especially with her saying she never thought this would happen again. And so she kept her word in them going to dinner to figure out what exactly went wrong. I guess to hear him out and, see his point of view and what does he want now.
Talking.
you look good though.
Shola, why are we here?
So we're here because I want us to talk. I want us back together.
All right, he wants them to be back together. So here we go. This should be interesting. Let's see, because he definitely has to explain why the harsh or rushed decision to just break up with her. So let's find out.
Why all of a sudden? Curious.
To be honest, seeing you at sports in Lagos with that guy.
You called for us to see because you saw me with someone else?
Yes, Zuri.
Okay, so that's a big no-no. You can't want to get back with me because you saw me with someone else. Has that ever happened to any of y'all before? Please let me know, because that'd be a big no-no. I'm sorry, like, because you saw me with someone else, so all of a sudden you're jealous, so you're operating out of a place of jealousy? Absolutely not. But let's give the guy some chance. Let's hear what he's saying.
Listen, the thoughts of you with somebody else scared the hell out of me. I love you. And I didn't stop just because we broke up.
You broke up with me. Even after apologizing. You acted as if you didn't care.
That's because the whole thing reminded me of my past, Zuri.
Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. I told y'all it was triggering for him. It was his past. Because the way Shola wooed Zuri and just chased her, he just really put so much time and effort into really loving her, into showing that he loved her. His actions, his words, everything added up to this man really loved this woman. So why would he hastily just end this? It just wasn't adding up and then moving on with some girl. It just was not adding up. So I told y'all, didn't I tell you? I told y'all it was triggering for him. It had to do with his past. His past came hunting him and he had nowhere to hide. And so he just had to run. And that was what he did. So let's find out what this past hurt is, okay?
How?
During my masters, I was in a very serious relationship with a girl. Her name is Amaka. Well, I thought we had our lives planned out in front of us, and a few days before our graduation, she left me.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. And especially men, they don't take betrayal very well, or they don't process it very well, like to ensure that they heal through it. Whereas women, we ensure that we heal through it and that we're able to forgive and let go. And I don't think he had done the work on what happened in his past, and so it definitely hunted his current relationship. And I don't believe he realized that that pain was still there. So it was like, oh my gosh, this is happening all over again. I gotta run. I gotta end this because she's not who I thought she was. She's just like my ex, Amaka.
For her ex, didn't even say a word to me, just up and left me for her ex.
Oh no. Now it makes sense. She actually left him for her ex. So it was definitely what Zuri was doing was definitely mirroring what Shalad experienced with his ex-girlfriend Amaka. So it definitely makes a lot of sense now. Let's keep watching.
And that is why I started avoiding anything that was serious. Up until you came along, Zuri. You made me feel like my heart was safe to be with someone.
His heart was safe to be with someone. Isn't it amazing how we always seek out a safe place? It's so beautiful. Let's keep watching.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I have a question for you, though.
What?
Why did you lie?
This is great. We're finally talking, asking the right questions. Something that should have happened a long time ago, then maybe they wouldn't have broken up. But this is what having a tough conversation looks like. Instead of running away, you ask the questions, you open up about what triggers you and all of that good stuff. So here we are.
I was scared. I mean, honestly, you can be very judgmental. I mean, you are, Shola.
Sorry. Listen, I'm sorry that I made it difficult for you to communicate with me.
Yeah, that is sad that she felt that he was judgmental. When we talk about safe places are acknowledged as safe because we can freely communicate how we're feeling, what we're going through, what are our challenges, what we need to be better at or to do better at, vice versa, right? When you're in a safe friendship, you can discuss anything. When you feel safe with your parents, you can discuss anything. Like nothing is too difficult or too challenging. But every one of us, with whatever we've experienced in our past, kind of builds up this wall upon wall. And so some people don't feel safe that they can communicate how they're feeling, what challenges, what they want you to do better at. So it is important, like, even as we go into this new year, is there something in you that you need to work on that you can be a safe place for other people? A safe place, and that are you, even as yourself, doing audit of yourself so that you can be a better person in general, and that you're not allowing your past to be a trigger to make you run away from something that's currently present in your life that's good for you. Let's keep watching.
I should have been more open. I'm sorry.
Sorry too. I mean, I guess I did make it very difficult for you to talk to me. I don't like confrontation. I never have. I mean, growing up, I didn't have a naked family. Meaning, I grew up in a typical Nigerian home.
I like that term, a naked family, which translates into they weren't open. They were always closed off. So everything that needed to be talked about was never discussed. And so she said a typical Nigerian family where the father is, very disciplined and very strict, and then the mother is also the same, and so you don't get to talk about how you're feeling or whatever conflicts you have. You tend to just suppress that, and if you wanted to think outside of the general family box, you suppress that. I know what that's like, and I think a lot of us that are from that are not of the Western world, we are often used to that family background. We don't talk about how we're feeling. We don't talk about the challenges we're facing. We just kind of suck it up and kind of go through it. And hence why there's a lot of mental health issue in our community.
Where the father is strict, very strict, and the mom is strict as well. And we didn't talk about our feelings. And if we had confrontation, it was very difficult to speak about it. So we just avoided it.
But Zuri, you know that you cannot avoid the difficult conversations forever, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it almost cost me the man that I love.
Ain't that the truth, beautiful Zuri? It almost cost you the man that you love, and it almost cost him the woman he loves. It's the past. The past. The past, y'all. What past hurt are you carrying with you into your current, present relationship that would eventually blow up your current relationship without it being repaired to a point where it can't be repaired? What hurt are you carrying? I believe it's super important that we do audits on our past relationships. I'm not saying you sit there and not move forward because you've been crippled by it. Don't be crippled by it, but instead use it to fuel you going forward, knowing this is what I'm going to work on, this is what I'm going to do better. So when something that resembles the past creeps up in your current relationship, you recognize it, but you do something different, right? You look at it from a different perspective, right? And know that this isn't the same person, so they're not going to hurt me. And also, this isn't my father and my mother, and so I'm going to communicate effectively with my man. Look, I am working with my ex. I have to in order to keep my job, because my boss has a partnership that he really wants. And unfortunately, it's with my ex's family. You communicate that. It'll be ugly. Like, it'll be very ugly because it'll be really hard. But at the end of the day, you've spoken the truth. The truth is always, always important. And I know it hurts. But we are not truthful enough with ourselves. People tend to think that lying is protecting. Lying is hurting, because what you're doing is you continue to put a cover, a veil over the truth, and you keep pulling it, you keep pulling it. And the further that veil continues to roll out, the harder it will be to be able to regain that person's trust and go forward. That's why I said, don't allow the past to hunt down your current relationship. The only way you don't allow that to happen is do an audit from your past relationship. Recognize what went wrong and know that you don't want that same thing to happen in your current relationship. And so even as we step into 2025, do an audit. I have to start doing it. It's hard, but do an audit of your life, of your relationships, of your finances, of your eating habit, like all of it. You have to do an audit so that in 2025, we can make better choices. We know what worked in 2024 and what didn't work in 2024, so we can do it better in 2025. It is important, and I've been saying this a lot on this channel. Do an audit. Maybe I need to do something to where we can do the audit together. You guys let me know how you would feel about that. Maybe a live of us kind of sipping on coffee or, whatever, marshmallows and all of that, and do an audit together. Because I don't want my 2024 to be the same. I don't want whatever didn't work out in 2024 to continue to happen in 2025. It might not look perfect now, and I don't know what 2025 holds for me or you, but I know that it is important for us to assess, take an audit, what worked and what didn't work. Let go of that past hurt so that it doesn't trigger you. Don't let your past keep hunting you and make you run away from something that is good for you.
Shola, if we're gonna do this, we have to promise not to be judgmental.
I promise. And even when we have the difficult conversations, we will talk about it no matter what, okay?
Promise.
That is what I'm talking about. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? They are going to communicate, getting back together. Yay!
I love you, Suriko Badia.
I love you, Shola Priware.
Isn't it sweet? You finally realize that you love each other just because you communicated. And then this magical moment happened to end all seasons of all seasons.
I know you gon' die for me, my baby. I know you gon' die for me, my baby.
This is perfect. Like, there's no way she can say no. I mean, yes, finally. I mean, it just took too long for them to be engaged. But, anyways, let's get back.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry.
Just wanted to say I loved her reaction to this. It's such a girl moment. I mean, yes, it's I loved it.
Zuri Gobadia, you are the most phenomenal woman that I've ever met in my life. You are beautiful, brilliant, and you are so goddamn sexy. You are stubborn. You are strong-willed. You are funny. But Zuri, most importantly, you make me want to be a better person. I cannot imagine spending the rest of my life without you. So would you please do me the honor and be my wife?
Yes, 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 yes.
My love, ooh, my love, ooh, I know you gon' die for me, my baby. I know you gon' die for me, my baby. Oh my God! I'm in love with your body, oh yeah. You got me thinking about you. There's the little things that you do.
Oh, you did good.
Yes, Shola did really good with the proposal, the ring, everything. He finally realized that he couldn't live without her, and so he did the right thing by proposing to her and showing, his actions and his words actually matched up. And so, yay! Now, I don't know if there will be a season 3. I do hope there will be. Maybe we'll get to see the wedding planning and, see their relationship grow, and also the other girls as well, what they overcome. And I just love the show. I just love the fashion. It's sick. The shots, the cinematography. I mean, everything. I just really love the show. And also the fact that it empowers, especially African women, with money. And I just really love that for us. And so I do hope that it continues and, we get to see more of Shola and Zuri. All right, before I leave you guys, you know what time it is. It is time for me to encourage us with a scripture. And today's scripture comes from Psalms 10, verse 17, and it says, Lord, you know the hopes of the helpless. Surely you will hear their cries and comfort them. Yes, there is nothing God does not see. He knows all things. He sees all things. And He is God over all things. So when you are praying, because we are supposed to pray without ceasing, and although sometimes it's hard, we have to keep praying. And we know that through all of that, surely God hears our cry. And He will, and He is comforting us. It may not feel like it, but trust me, He knows it. He sees it. Nothing happens without God knowing without him seeing. And he will bring a solution. So don't be hopeless during this season. I love the Christmas season. It gives me hope to know that it might not be around this time that he was born, but Jesus Christ was born to save us. And I am so grateful for that. And let that be your hope today, that God sent his son to die for us just so we could live with him eternally. Until next time, y'all, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also share. And if you would like to see more content like this, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell just so you know once we upload another video. Until next time, for real, y'all. Will you please take care of yourself? Be kind to yourself and also be kind to others. Love you guys. Bye-bye.